Hey, what's up, guys? This is part two of the two-part series of frequently asked questions about the overage and surplus funds business. So let's continue onward. If you missed part one, go back and watch that first, and then continue on to this one. Again, these are just, this is what we're going to cover in this video. We're going to cover these questions. So I'll let you read over that real quick. So I believe we answered 10 questions in the first one. I'm going to answer another 10 in this one. And again, if you have other questions, guys, post them in the comments, and I'll happy to make another video. All right, let's dive into this first one of part two. What is the difference between tax and mortgage overages? So an overage is just, again, let's define overage. An overage is money left over from the sale of a property, and that money should go back to the previous homeowner. Tax overages. This is just when a property is sold at a tax auction to recoup unpaid property taxes. And an overage is generated when an investor buys that property for more than what is owed to the county in property taxes. Quick example, property goes to tax sale because the homeowner owes $10,000 in property taxes. An investor buys that property for $50,000. $10,000 goes to the county. There is now $40,000 left over, and that is referred to as the overage or the surplus funds or excess funds. And because it was generated at a tax sale auction, then that is a tax overage, tax sale overage, or a TOE is what I like to call it. Mortgage overages, or what I refer to as mortgage overage, same thing, except it's when a house is sold to recoup what is owed on the mortgage. This is usually, an attorney usually conducts the auction, and people can bid for the property. So an example would say, let's say a homeowner owes $150,000 on their mortgage. It goes to an auction, foreclosure auction, and an investor buys it for $200,000. So $150,000 goes to the bank, leaving $50,000 left over in overage or surplus funds. And because it was generated from a foreclosure of a mortgage, that's why we call it a mortgage overage. So hopefully that makes sense. What is the average profit per deal? Mine is between $5,000 and $10,000 on average. My highest net profit was close to $30,000. So it just depends on whatever you can negotiate. How do I find lists or leads? There's three ways you can find lists or leads online. You can find them by requesting lists. That's number two. And the third way is to actually make the list yourself. And that's my preferred method. How do I find people? This is the art of skip tracing. Skip tracing, again, is just finding people and their contact information. So you do this by, one, you have to find their info first. And then once you have that info, you use that to get in touch with them, whether it's calling them, texting them, emailing them, sending them a letter, reaching out to them on social media, calling their neighbors, calling their friends, their associates, calling their relatives, whatever it takes to get a hold of that person. That's how you find them. So as far as the how-tos, anything how-to, I go into a lot of detail inside of my course, School, which is found at school.overagecourse.com. What do I say? Basically, when you contact someone, what do you say to them? You tell them who you are, why you're calling, and how you can help them. I like to use a script, and I provide that script to all of my students as well. But that's the basic gist. Who are you? Why are you calling? How can you help? What role does an attorney play, and how do they help? People ask this a lot. And so one question you need to ask is, well, who is holding on to the funds? Are the funds in a court system? If so, you're going to have to use an attorney to petition the court to get those funds out. But beyond that, an attorney helps in a lot of ways. They help make sure that everything is legal and clean cut and done properly according to the law. So it helps mitigate risk and liability on your part. An attorney can help provide an appearance of credibility for your business because you are willing to, pay that expense, even though it's not a huge expense. It makes you look more legitimate, and it makes you more legitimate, to be honest. An attorney can also help you overcome a lot of issues, such as when a county doesn't want to work with third parties. You can overcome that with an attorney. You can overcome fee limitations. You can overcome just questions from the county or the court. They may not even ask those questions if they see that you're working with an attorney. So an attorney really helps in a lot of these different ways and aspects. At the end of the day, attorneys save me time and they save me money. So that's why I use them, because my time is valuable. Is this space saturated? Is this business saturated? We touched on this a little in the last video. There is competition, but name a business where there isn't competition. So again, I come from a real estate background, so I've done other things. And when I compare this field to other strategies like wholesaling or being an agent, this is not nearly as saturated as those other strategies. Why are you teaching people how to do this? Great question and a fair question. Here's the thing, at the end of the day, the results that I've gotten and the place that I am today, I would not have been able to get here had someone not shared what they had known about this business. And so now that I've gone through it and kind of have my own experiences, I think it's my duty and my responsibility to share what I know with others so that they can also get results for themselves. At the end of the day, it's my belief that if you have something, if you have knowledge that you can share that will help someone better their life, you should share that knowledge. If you don't, you're a selfish human being. So that's one reason. Now, here's the other reason. I do profit from sharing what I know, and not just in course sales, but also by teaching people what I do. I'm able to do more deals and broaden my reach and do more deals across the country. How do I do that? By forming joint venture partnerships and doing deals through my partnerships. So yes, I'm paying it forward, but at the same time, I'm growing my business. So that's why I do what I do and teach other people about this business. Which in my eyes, I think is a win-win. To help someone change their life, and at the same time, I get to grow my business, that's a win-win. So, what makes you different from the rest? So, a fair question. People ask me, well, what makes you different? What makes your course different from this one? Or why are you different from all the others? Because there's several people that teach about this business. Let's be real. There's several individuals. There's several products out there where you can buy them and learn about this business, information products and courses and books. So I know I'm not the only one. Here's one thing I will say. As far as I know, I'm the only one that has actually shown case studies of deals that I've done personally in this business. As far as I know, I'm the only one that has actually shown a tax return showing that I've actually made money in this business. And so I think those are two of the biggest differentiators is the proof and the case studies that I provided via my YouTube channel. I try to be very transparent and honest and show you what I've done, both the good and the bad. I've not had 100% success rate. I've screwed some deals up, lost money, and I've also made money. And you can even see my tax returns. They're out there. They're in different videos. So I don't know of anyone else that has that transparency and shown that they actually have done deals personally, except for maybe one other person. That's the other thing. That brings me to the other thing is there's me and one other person that I know of that offers to partner on deals with their students. Everyone else just sells a product. So that's one other thing is I offer to partner with my students on deals. And at the end of the day, I guess I try to show you what I've done, not just tell you what I've done. So I will say this too. I'm just like you. What do I mean by that? I didn't come from a specialized background. I didn't go to an Ivy League college, or, I don't have any special skills or certifications. I come from a middle class working background. Um, Grew up middle class, went to a middle class school, went to a university that wasn't, it was a good school, but it's not like an Ivy League school. Um, Got a job, was working in law enforcement, been in the military, former corrections officer / probation officer. And I just found an opportunity. I was looking for a way to better my life, and I found this through someone that was sharing what they knew, and I implemented what I learned and saw results, and I just kept going from there. Kept taking action, kept reinvesting my profits into more knowledge, and just kept growing. And so I'm just like you in that I know what it's like to struggle for money. I know what it's like to grind, 12-hour graveyard shifts for not a lot of money. I know what it's like to stress about bills. I know what it's like to, make choices and sacrifice things so that you can, make sure your bills are paid. So I'm just like you. I'm just a person trying to make their way in life, just like you are. How can you work with me? Great question. There's a couple different ways we can work together. One is you can become a student and you can learn my system and learn my process. A good way to get started on that is go to school.overagecourse.com. There should be a link below in the description for that. So that's way number one, is become a student of the course and let's partner on deals together. I also have a mastermind where I work more closely with people. A couple masterminds actually. One is, we meet monthly, and if you're a student, you can possibly get access to that if you want. Number two, I have a more in-depth mastermind where we work on a weekly basis together for a set amount of time, and also partner on deals. So those are two ways to work with me, is become a student of the course, and also, if you want to work with me in a mastermind format. So those are a couple things. There's another video about that I've posted below. So a couple ways you can work with me. And that's it, guys. I think that's the last question. Yep, that's the last question. So this concludes our part 2 series of frequently asked questions in the overage and surplus funds business. If you have more questions, post them in the comments below. Happy to make another video. And I hope this helps your due diligence, your research, and helps you learn a little more about this business. And I'll see you in the next one. That's it for today. Again, if you want to learn from me, go to school.overagecourse.com. Also check out the channel Overage Syndicate on YouTube. It's over 100 videos on there about this business. So that's a good place to start. Thanks, guys.